Hey everybody, thanks for joining us here on this Thursday for a look at your detailed Colorado weather forecast, and we're also taking your climate-related questions here during the month of November, so we're going to get into that as well. We got a wind and climate change-related question coming up in the next few minutes, but in the meantime, the focus on that Colorado weather forecast, the story for us today, we start off on the cold side. We're going to be looking at, unfortunately, increased fire dangers we get later on into today, but in the meantime, well, we've got the sunshine back out, some of those familiar lenticular clouds back overhead. That is caused by westerly winds. Those clouds, you can kind of see it there at the very top of your screen, that little almost spaceship-looking cloud. It's caused by the winds going over the mountains, and as they come back down, they create a little turbulent eddy, and that is what leads to that cloud that you're seeing overhead. Those clouds don't really move a lot because, again, it's that turbulent eddy that keeps those clouds in place. Now, the story that you probably felt this morning, those temperatures were on the cold side, got down to 12 degrees this morning for us into Denver. That made it our coldest temperature in the city since February the 16th, so over 9 months. Now, our record for today, minus 12, so we did not get anywhere close to our record low temperature, thank goodness. I think it's safe to say, but it was certainly on the colder side. It wasn't just you. I would say this was at DIA. Downtown areas were a bit closer, about 20 degrees for our low this morning. Some spots into the upper teens, but most areas in the immediate Denver area didn't quite get as cold as DIA did, but our official climate site is at Denver International Airport. And by the way, that is not our choice. So, in the meantime, let's get over to the red flag warning. This is going to be probably our big concern as we head through the next few hours for your day today. We do have a red flag warning that, by the way, does include the Kruger Rock fire up in Estes Park, so any smoldering hotspots, unfortunately, today could get kicked back up. Now, notice those wind gusts up to 40 miles an hour today. You might remember that back on Tuesday when that fire first started, we really had very blustery conditions around the foothills. We were talking about gusts in the 60 to 70 mile an hour range, so it's not nearly as windy as what we saw back on Monday night and to your Tuesday, but it's still going to be on the gusty side as we head later on through today. Current gusts, some spots, including Berthoud Pass, about 40 miles an hour. Again, back on Tuesday, those gusts were closer to about 70 miles an hour, so it is still windy. Don't want to overlook it, but again, not nearly as windy as it was back on Tuesday. That said, some localized gusts could get into the 50, 60 mile an hour range as we head through the next few hours, and the Kruger Rock fire wind gusts probably in the 25 to 30 mile an hour range. So still a little bit on the blustery side, but not as bad as what we dealt with back over the weekend. Those gusts, though, do kick up tonight, so the winds do get a little bit worse as we head through the evening. So worth noting that the Kruger Rock fire, unfortunately, some smoldering hotspots may get kicked up by some of those, by some of the winds tonight, and also a very dry air mass. Here in Denver, temperatures in the mid-50s, a tick above average for this time of year. We're normally at 52 degrees for your day today. We'll be at 54, and especially after that low temperature of 12 degrees, I would imagine that 54-degree reading will feel a lot better than where we were. Current temperatures right now around the metro area, about 43, well, I should say around the metro area. This is around the state of Colorado. 30 degrees in Steamboat Springs, 41 Lamar, 44 Springfield, 29 in the typically cold Gunnison Valley, and 40 for our friends on the western slope, and the hot spot, Cortez and Ray at 50 degrees apiece right now on either end of our beautiful state. 24-hour temperature change, you've probably noticed those temperatures warming back up compared to yesterday. By the way, Denver, we only topped out at 37 degrees yesterday officially out at DIA. That made it our coldest high temperature since mid to late April. A lot of us stuck in the 20s and around the eastern plains of Colorado for your day on your Wednesday, but today already noticeably warmer, and we're already into the low 40s for us here into Denver, so that sunshine making it feel pretty nice, and the winds in Denver proper not all that bad, so it's going to be a pretty nice late fall day all in all. 50 Platteville, 56 Parker, 48 Greeley, 53 West Creek, 55 Castle Rock, 49 Georgetown, 52 Bailey, a little sampling of those high temperatures for your day today. Now, we do have a system that tries to work its way on through late tonight and will not lead to any moist really for us in the eastern plains of Colorado. Maybe a spot shower in a few areas. Most of us will stay dry, though. Tomorrow, it's much warmer. We will also be looking at a breezier day as we get into your day tomorrow, at least here in Denver, mid-60s for those highs here in town. That is about a 10-degree jump from what we're expecting for your day today. And then as we get into your Saturday, that's when our next real meaningful system drops way on through. It's still a weak system, but we will be looking at least a chance for a spot shower in eastern Colorado, and that does include the I-25 urban corridor. Denver, we have been bone dry going back to early June. We really need the moisture. We really haven't gotten any help here from Mother Nature of late. The mountains been a little snow starved this week. We do get maybe a 1 to 3, 2 to 4 inch type of snowfall event during the day on Saturday. We'll take it, but it's not really going to add up all that much. Then that system clears on out of here, and then for your Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, things look dry before our next system that arrives for your Wednesday and to your Thanksgiving. Now for your day tomorrow, we are looking at those temperatures that do get on up into the mid-60s in around the Denver area under plenty of sunny skies. So very, very nice day as we get into your day tomorrow in around Denver. We'll see some of those mountain wave clouds hanging around for your day tomorrow as well. But here's a look at those highs as we get into your day tomorrow. 66 Longmont, 65 Brighton, 65 Littleton, 58 Lakewood, and 59 Pine Junction. So all in all, these temperatures running about 10 to closer to about 15 degrees above where we should be for this time of year. But one thing that is missing, you're looking at it, the snowfall. We just haven't had any of it so far this season here in Denver, at least no measurable snowfall. We had a few flakes, but they haven't officially piled up here in Denver. And by the way, today marks 1 month later than our average first measurable snowfall date here in Denver. And notice that latest date, today is November the 18th, and quick math tells you that November the 21st is coming up on Sunday, which means unless we get some snow on Saturday night, which does not look likely at all here, folks, we're almost for sure going to break that latest first measurable snowfall date record that is coming up on Sunday. And by the way, today at the Central Park Station, we officially tied our longest snowless streak. Worth noting, this only goes back to 1948, but in the modern era, so over the course of the last 70 or so years, last 73 years to be exact, Denver is now tied for its longest snowless streak, and then tomorrow we'll break it here in Denver. So that forecast kind of shakes out like this, those temperatures into the mid-50s for your Saturday and your Sunday. So it does cool back down behind a cold front that arrives on Saturday morning. Tomorrow, a breezy, warm day, mid-60s. Then for your Monday and Tuesday, we warm right back up again. And then Wednesday and Thursday, we're watching the chance for some flurries and may get some meaningful, measurable snowfall Wednesday and Thursday of next week. Worth noting, of course, next Thursday is Thanksgiving. Next Wednesday is the busy travel day. So the last thing we would want to see would be measurable snowfall on the busiest travel day of the year, or one of the busier travel days of the year. But at this point, it does look like we at least have the chance for seeing some of that measurable snowfall early next week, but middle part of next week. But again, it doesn't look like we will see much of it if we do get that. And by the way here, folks, worth noting, private vent here as a meteorologist, it seems like anytime we get some of these snow chances 5-6 days out, they seem to kind of almost whittle away as we get closer to them. So take that with a grain of salt. We do have a chance for snow next Wednesday, next Thursday. I can tell you pretty solidly it's going to be much colder for the middle of next week. And that does include Thanksgiving, by the way. I would plan on obviously we're talking about weird times of the pandemic, but again, I would plan on having some of those indoor celebrations. Of course, if you want to paying attention to the weather, we certainly want to, again, maybe not an outdoor Thanksgiving celebration this year. All right, we're also taking your climate-related questions here during the month of November, and today's comes from Mary in Lakewood, who's got an interesting question here. We've had such crazy winds here on the Front Range. It seems they've gotten worse over the last 40 years. Is that true, and could it be related to climate change? So Mary asking that we've had strong winds. Yes, it's been this week, but we've had some strong winds over the course of, going back the last few years. We've had some wind events, and is there a relation to stronger winds and climate change? The quick answer is yes, there is a possibility for that because the Earth has warmed by about 2 degrees over the last 100 years. Warmer air is more energy, more moisture sometimes in the atmosphere, and as a result of that, again, you've got more energy overall. So that can have some domino effect type of impacts, and that could include wind. There have been a lot of studies that have linked to a stronger jet stream as a result of a warming climate. So when you have a stronger jet stream, that's the narrow ribbon of really strong winds about 30,000 feet up in the atmosphere that dictates a lot of our weather. And when you have a really strong jet stream, like we've certainly seen, and again, there have been some recent studies that have come on out in the last 5-10 years that have linked a warming climate to a stronger jet stream. Well, you've got a stronger jet stream, you've got stronger winds way up there at 30,000 feet in the air. That can sometimes translate down to the surface. And also, by the way, when you've got more warmer temperatures, you've got more energy again, A. That also means you typically have stronger areas of high pressure and you have stronger areas of low pressure. So, little weather 101. Weather is basically Mother Nature trying to balance itself out, right? So, if you've got really cold temperatures in the Arctic and you've got really hot temperatures in the subtropics near the equator, weather is basically the battle between those two different air masses and, well, trying to achieve equilibrium. That's basically nature, right? Nature is always trying to achieve equilibrium. And so when you've got, again, really cold temperatures in one place, really warm temperatures in another, there's going to be a clash somewhere in between. That often leads to thunderstorms, low pressure, sometimes hurricanes, strong winds. And the reason I explained that is that when you've got warmer temperatures, you've got a 2-degree warming across the globe over the last 100 years, you've got the possibility for stronger areas of high pressure, stronger areas of low pressure, and you've got Mother Nature trying to kind of cancel those on out, and wind flows from high to low pressure. So you've got warmer temperatures, you've got more energy in the atmosphere, you've got more ingredients to create stronger winds. So it's hard to link an individual weather event like some strong winds later on today in the foothills. There's no doubt that that would have happened with or without climate change. The question is, are we seeing a subtle impact to how strong those winds are as a result of that? And that is certainly very possible, though I would add in, this is me speculating, and there are no exact studies linking stronger front range winds to a warming climate, but it's quite likely that there are some subtle impacts at the very least from a warming climate, and that, again, hopefully a bit of an explainer there for Mary. That's a great question. Again, I would just kind of finish by emphasizing that it's hard to link individual day-to-day weather events to a warming climate, even if it's, for example, tomorrow it's going to be about 10 to 15 degrees above average. Remember, a climate is the average over a long period of time of weather, so one day of weather is a tiny, tiny little needle in the haystack in terms of the overall climate. So tomorrow being 10 degrees, 15 degrees above average, with or without a warming climate, again, we would have probably had a warmer than average day tomorrow. It's just how much warmer is it because of a warming climate, if that makes sense. Again, weather, a tiny snippet of climate, which is the big overall picture, and the climate has warmed by about 2 degrees, but tomorrow, 10 to 15 degrees above average, yeah, probably would have happened, would have been warmer than average tomorrow with or without a warming climate. Again, if that makes sense. So just to keep that in mind, if you're talking weather, day-to-day weather, the impacts from a warming climate are often subtle, and it's not, again, it's not going to be drastic impacts on a day-to-day basis in most cases, though. Again, we're still kind of figuring that out. Hopefully that makes sense there. But Mary, thanks for that great question. By the way, I appreciate all of you for sending in your wonderful questions about climate during the month of November. I'll leave you with our 7-day forecast, which does have some warmer temperatures until the middle of the next week. And that means we're looking at a cold Thanksgiving. So we're planning on maybe some of those indoor celebrations, pandemic pending, of course, with everything that's going on right now. Weird year, normally I would say, of course, it is an indoor Thanksgiving, but again, with COVID going on, I'll leave that up to your own discretion. But thanks for joining us here on 9 News Watch. I'm Meteorologist Bianchi, the 9 News Weather Center. Have a great rest of your day. We'll see you right back here tomorrow.